share with everybody how you and I got connected.
Yeah.
So I was in corporate America and was looking for something to do on the side that I could tie into my health and wellness routine, and that's where Melissa and I met. And I went through what a lot of people do when they're getting started with network marketing, and it's spinning your wheels and going in the wrong places to find people that can help you grow your business. So Melissa and I connected on about LinkedIn, her academy, and her vision for how this could help us connect with people that were looking for the same things as us. So anyway, long story short, I was successful in doing that, but recruiting, you said it earlier, that's what network marketing is all about. And it turns out I was pretty good at it. So I decided to start a recruiting business that tied back into my old world of corporate, which was direct to consumer, e-commerce, wholesaling goods, that type of thing. And I've used all the techniques that you taught me for creating a side hustle, a side income business with my health and wellness company. I've used those same techniques with my recruiting agency, which is now about 6 months old. I feel like, or I've been told from people in the industry, I'm part of a much larger group, that I'm way ahead of the curve on where most people are that are coming into this. And a lot of it is, in recruiting, many of you on this call have probably gotten calls from recruiters in the past, but it's a lot different when you're attracted to those people as opposed to reaching out to those people. Now, I do both, but the more I post about jobs, the more I post about what's going on in the industry, the more I post about articles that can be directed towards not only the clients that I'm trying to get, but the people I'm trying to recruit, the bigger my network has grown. And it's amazing now and only 6 months into it, as I'm posting a job, people are reaching out to me and booking a time on my Calendly link that you taught me. So
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I think you've been such a good student. So Joe, you have learned the tags, the hashtags. You have really nailed attraction marketing. I love that post you had the other day. Was it with Birkenstock you're recruiting for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have nailed attraction marketing. And I think one of the reasons, Joe, you've been so good is because you know what your avatar is looking for. Even in your previous business, before you were recruiting in your recruiting business, in your health and wellness business, can you share with everybody the post you made about missing that winning goal? Because I think a lot of people feel like, okay, so what Joe's like, he's really humble, but he was actually a really, really top level VP at a big company, at a really big brand before he retired from that. And he's been very, very successful. And he made a lot of sacrifices in his adult life to have the really successful multi-six-figure career that he had. And when he started building his online e-commerce business, one of the things we coach to in the academy is it's not all business. We need to connect with people authentically and meet them where their pain points are so that they feel connected, so that they feel heard. You guys work through this on day 2 or 3, right? Joe, can you share with everybody a little bit about that post that you made that just went viral for you last year?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I'll ask everybody that's on this call, have you ever wished that you were at a certain event of maybe one of your kids, but you couldn't be there because you had to be at work? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there nodding your heads. Well, this one was real. It was my daughter was a senior in high school, and she was playing lacrosse, and it was like the state semifinals or something. It was a big game. Maybe it was state quarterfinals. And my wife videoed my daughter scoring the winning goal in overtime to put them to the next round. So I posted that. So videos are really impactful, especially one like that where people are waiting to see what's happening. But my first sentence was, this was my daughter's winning goal in the state quarterfinals, and I missed it because I had to be at work. I was like, have you ever wished that you could? Have you ever missed out on certain life events because you had to do work? Imagine a life where you could make decisions based on your time schedule, not somebody else's. So that was the gist of the post. And yeah, man, it as you can imagine, it tugged at the heartstrings of a lot of people, but it was all fact, so people could relate to that. And there was a lot of, let's talk, or, what are you doing? So at least that opens up the door. But I think more importantly, it's, as you're building up your LinkedIn network of your avatar, those people might not have reached, a lot of people didn't reach out to me, but now we're connected. They made a comment or they hit a like or something, but they see still stuff that I'm posting. And I do a lot for my recruiting business now. I did a post a couple of weeks ago. So Birkenstock is one of my clients, and there was a position that I was posting, but I was really, it was about how do I connect with all the people that are inside of Birkenstock and outside of Birkenstock and people that follow them, because it's a big network. So they're known for the comfort of their footbeds. And there was this guy that did the Tour de France. He wasn't in the Tour de France. He did the Tour de France route. And he wore Birkenstocks for like 500 miles because the footbed made his foot feel better because he was sore from the rest of the ride. Anyway, I posted that picture, and down below I said something like, here's how I praised myself. I said, hey, I've been fortunate to help Birkenstock build out their e-commerce department in their New York City offices. But one of the things I'm most impressed about Birkenstock is the culture of the people that work here. So I did at Birkenstock. I didn't say at Birkenstock. And then I said CEO, at David, blah, 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 has made it his, in this article, he talks about, all pulling in one direction. I made a couple of points like that, but it was at him. So that got, Melissa, 10,000 something views, So once I brought in the Birkenstock, and then so anyway, so how does that all play out? Well, I got an email or a LinkedIn message that afternoon from a company down in New Jersey that is not as well known, not even close, but is having trouble filling certain positions, and they wanted to use me to do it. I got another random dude from Atlanta that is just a lights out marketing genius, and he's looking for a new opportunity. So two little things right there turn into something that is a lot bigger than just the post that I made. But what's even more important is the amount of people that now watch me, and it's funny how the comments I'll get, it's a lot of times like, I've been watching you. I love the stuff that you're doing. Hey, tell me more about this. Tell me more about that. So it's a lot more me reaching out and a lot of people reaching into me.
I love it. And, and I've seen your journey, right? And I said this with Christine too. And I don't know if you can speak to this a little bit, but it didn't come to you overnight, how to market and how to recruit and how to master the platform, right? Some of these guys are like 6 months, like who needs 6 months to learn LinkedIn? But what do you say to the people who are like, they're sitting on the fence with like, A, is this worth the investment? And B, do I really need 6 months to get clear and really get super, super successful on the platform?
Yeah, for me, it's taken a lot longer than 6 months. Like you need to keep doing the reps, and the beauty about your class and it's 6 months is it keeps you engaged for 6 months, right? So things don't become a habit until you've done them over and over again for weeks or months at a time. If you just read a quick book, how many times have we all read self-help books and you're like, oh my God, this book is awesome. And then 3 weeks later, you're not doing any of the stuff you're supposed to do. How many people, have done worked out with someone for 2 weeks and you're feeling unbelievable, and then you stop doing it and you don't work out again for the next 10 months. So I think what's important about what you do is it starts becoming a habit. Do I post every day? No. Should I? Absolutely. But it's in my head all the time. I need to post. Like even before I get on today, I'm like, okay, what am I going to throw out there today? And I go and I find an interesting picture, I find an interesting article, I do something, and at least I'm going. So in my mind, if I'm doing it 3-4 times a week, I'm making progress and I'm staying in front of people. And it's not always the immediate results that I get that day, like I did with that post the week before, but people are watching. And there's going to come a time when I'm going to call one of those people on an opportunity and they're going to pick up the phone, whereas before they might not have. So, why 6 months? Since 6 months, because if you're truly investing in yourself and in your future business, is it worth to you 6 months of making something a habit that's going to pay you residually for years to come?
Yes. Oh, so good. So good. Well, and you make a really good point with we even have, we implemented those weekly power hours, right? So everybody, it's like a co-working session where they sit down, we facilitate, working the platform. I love that. And Joe is he is a master closer and has become one of our certified coaches actually inside of our academy. And he runs one of our performance workshops around closing, because some of you, maybe you're healthcare providers, maybe you've never sold anything a day in your life, but you have a phenomenal product, service, coaching program, and you need help practicing closing people to actually invest, right? So that's where we have those performance labs where you're actually getting people on the line and you're learning how to close them so that they join you, purchase your programs. Joe is a master at this, and it's what he spent his decades of his career in. So, Joe, thank you so much for joining today. Any final parting words to this group before I let you run? I know you've got a ton to do. Or any questions you guys have for Joe, you can put in the chat.
Yeah, you can put the questions in. Listen, I just say, you're all here for a reason. I was in your seat at one time too, and trying to make the decision on whether or not I wanted to invest the time. But whenever I'm faced with the decision of should I invest or shouldn't I invest, I try to look and say, okay, what's my payback going to be? If it costs me X, if it costs me $2,000 a year for this tool that I'm using for my recruiting business, is it going to help me bring in new clients? Is it going to help me attract new candidates? Well, I get paid 25% of someone's first year's salary. So if it's a $100,000 salary and I make $25,000 off of that placement, and it was because of this tool that I'm using, was it worth spending $2,000? The answer is yes. Right. So I'm investing in my own business. So if you're truly serious about developing a network marketing business, you got to look at what the cost of what you do is and say, is it really a cost, or is that just a cost of doing business? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, and they've heard my story at every level, at every investment. I've shattered the ceiling on what was possible with my income based off of investing in people who could help me get there. So yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate you popping in and sharing your insights. You guys, Joe is, again, a master coach inside. So if you sign up for any of the performance role play workshops, you will definitely see him. He helps facilitate those. Thank you so much, Joe.
All right. We'll see you.